Hey everyone, how is everyone doing this morning? I'm just looking at the chat. What an exciting news morning. Just wanted to come up and share with you guys a couple things that I found. First of all, very much share worthy. Okay, let's start with this little Tesla thing. I'm going to share with you guys my screen. Shout out to everyone on the chat, our members, our subscribers, and of course, our supporters, our bushwatchers, our new subscribers. Absolutely. Let me see if I can find what I was looking for. Let's get started on this, okay? Because back in 2017, I heard about a lawsuit, okay, with Tesla. Now, how many of you guys drive Teslas? I'm sure, I don't know if it's a great car. I've never had one, never had the pleasure of owning a Tesla. Does anybody drive a Tesla in here in the chat? Kind of curious. Yes, no, anybody drive a Tesla? Because I've heard so much about a Tesla. Um, to me, it's such a pretty car. I would hate to break it. Definitely. So I'm just like, let me be careful and not try to mess with that kind of car. I'm more of a Subaru driver. So that's as much as I'll go. That's my dream car. The Tesla's your dream car? Interesting. No, no Teslas. Anybody else have a Tesla here? No, no, I don't. I'm a Subaru, Toyota, maybe all the other. I don't know. I've never had a BMW, never had any of those cars, but to me Tesla just seems like something that would be something that you'd easily break, and I don't know. I would break it pretty quickly. So wanted to start with this story because back in 2017, I remember when hmm, when there was a lawsuit with one of the employees, okay? And it was on discrimination specifically, okay? So this employee he worked in the elevators. He was called the N-word. There were N-word writings in the bathroom, and Tesla wasn't doing anything to address it. Now, there wasn't just him. There were like two other lawsuits that were pending on Tesla. So I thought this would be a really good thing to talk about because first of all, Tesla has to get it together. We were able to obtain a leaked copy of the Tesla HR handbook. They call it the anti-handbook. So you guys got to look into that and see what you guys think about that situation. Yeah, I'm looking at the chat real quick. The door handles on the Tesla really intrigue me. Jane, I've never gotten close enough to even look at the door handles. I know when very rarely do I go to a mall. But when I've gone to the mall, I'm always afraid to touch those cars because I feel like I might break something. Can't get in the back seat. I don't know, something about those car models there. And then also, those are the ones that you charge, right? Like you have to stop somewhere and charge your car. Like there's a battery pack to it, something like that. It just doesn't. I'm a little antique, old school that way. Yes. Oh, thank you. I'm looking at the chat. Thank you. Yeah. So why don't we start with this little article today because the federal court, okay, in California is ordering Tesla to pay a 137 million to a former black employee for discrimination. That's a lot of money. I think it was like 13.7 million or something like that. It's a lot of money, okay? And all because he didn't sign the arbitration form, which, by the way, arbitration is such a good word to learn and know. If anybody makes you sign that, you always want to know why, okay? And so just wanted to share with you guys a little something here. Why don't we go ahead and start?
Now, federal court has ordered Tesla to shell out nearly $137 million to Owen Diaz, a former employee, after he sued the company over a racist and hostile work environment. He's one of several people to bring a case against the company. NBC News Now correspondent Priscilla Thompson spoke to Diaz about what he says he endured at Tesla and what pushed him over the edge.
Like a weight lifted off my shoulder.
Validation and relief now setting in for Owen Diaz after a federal jury in San Francisco ordered Tesla pay him nearly $137 million for racial abuse on the job. Abuse that Diaz says is rampant.
I'm just the tip of the iceberg.
Diaz was contracted as an elevator operator at the electric car company's Fremont plant in the Bay Area for 9 months in 2015 and 2016.
What kind of harassment did you experience there over the course of the 9 months that you worked there?
The N-word scratched into the bathroom stalls. They were calling me a clerch monkey and the Spanish version of the N-word. This other guy was getting on the elevator with me, and he was telling me, Ian, hurry up and push the button. You men's are lazy.
Diaz says he became a target for write-ups after he began reporting the abuse. But it was after his 19-year-old son took a job at the factory that he decided something had to change.
I was taking him lunch, and he had a Caucasian supervisor call telling him, I can't stand all you F&Ns. So at this point, my son was looking for me for help. At that moment, my son had saw him break me. I just had to live with that decision that I made to take him in that factory. That's the biggest mistake I ever made in my life.
Diaz and his son are no longer among the roughly 10,000 employees working at the factory. Tesla has denied knowledge of racist conduct at the plant, but this week, a jury awarded Diaz $6.9 million for emotional distress and $130 million in punitive damages. Tesla did not respond to NBC's request for comment. In a note sent to employees after the ruling, Tesla's head of human resources downplayed Diaz's claims, citing, among other things, employees who testified that racial slurs, including the N-word, were used in a, quote, friendly manner, and usually by African-American colleagues, and that the company was responsive to Diaz's complaints, firing 2 contractors and suspending another, adding, quote, while we strongly believe that these facts don't justify the verdict reached by the jury in San Francisco, we do recognize that in 2015 and 2016, we were not perfect. We're still not perfect, but we have come a long way from 5 years ago.
When you see Tesla's response, do you think they learned a lesson?
No, it's another way of these companies, if they don't get their way, of blaming the victim.
Now, it took the jury roughly 4 hours to rule in favor of Diaz, making him the second person this year to win a discrimination case against Tesla. Another former Black employee won a $1 million judgment back in May. The company also has a pending civil lawsuit dating back to 2017 that claims Tesla breeds a racist culture.
Thanks for watching our.
So, time to pay up, Tesla. Okay. First of all, I really want to point out a comment that Shinelle said, and I think this is a very important comment. We tend to say this a lot. It's something about being thick-skinned. Okay. How often do you hear that in a work environment or even on YouTube? You have to have real thick skin to be here. It's almost like you have to take the BS and the bullshit to be here. He had to take the BS and the bullshit to be there. That's what it sounds like, because Tesla HR Human Services wasn't addressing it. I don't even want to say allegedly at this point, because he did win, although they're going to appeal it. But, he won. Okay. And rightfully so. And you know what made me feel good about the story, aside from the fact that he won? I'll show you guys what made me feel really, really good about this story. Okay. See if I can stop sharing this and share another screen with you. There was an article by Yahoo. Okay. Let's see if we can pull that article up. Here we go. And there was a quote that he said here that I was like, we need more people like this in society. We really, really, really do. Really, really need to just have more people like this in society. And I'll tell you guys why. There was a paragraph at the very end, okay, where Diaz says he's considering using part of his payout to start a business with plans to hire former prisoners and people experiencing homelessness. They don't have a support system, he says. They feel they're trapped in the system. First, though, he headed home for sleep. On Tuesday, he planned to go fishing or tend to his garden. The squash and zucchini, he said, have been feeling neglected. I was like, wow. Talk about being a very grounded individual. The fact that he already has a vision of what he wants to do with the money, helping former prisoners, okay, and building a support system, which, by the way, that's a huge thing. Okay, so, and I really do hope that he follows up with that, and that people hold him to it as well, and also that his squash and zucchini are feeling neglected. So to me, that just, I don't know, something about that quote just spoke volumes to me. It made me feel good in terms of like him winning. But I would also think that he probably went through a lot of shit to go against a company like Tesla. Okay. Which, by the way, we have first of all, we have the complaint, and then we have the employee handbook, or the anti handbook, as they like to call it. And this is Tesla's words, not mine. All right. Let me share it with you guys. Okay, let's go. Let's look at the anti handbook first. You guys tell me what you think about this anti handbook, okay? Okay, so this is what they call it. Okay, so I guess pretend you're hired. Okay? You're hired at Tesla, and they give you this anti handbook. And so then when I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, yeah, it is very unconventional. First of all, because the expectations are set for you, all right? They let you know that they're a high-tech company, that if you're looking for a traditional employee handbook filled with policies and rules, you won't find one. Okay. Policies and rules tell you where the bottom is. They tell you how poorly you can perform before you can get shown the door. That's not us. So, okay. So if you keep going, and I'm just skimming through it when I first saw it, trust, communication, that there is a level of trust and responsibility that each employee is given. We operate with the assumption that everyone will do the right thing, including you, the employee. Okay. And then the communication piece. Anyone at Tesla can and should email or talk to anyone else according to what they think is the fastest way to solve a problem for the benefit of the whole company. You can talk with your manager, you can talk with your manager's manager, and you can talk directly to a VP in another department. You can talk to inland, you can talk to anybody without anyone's permission. Moreover, you should consider yourself obligated to do so until the right thing happens. Okay. Yeah, this is very unconventional, because usually there's like a chain of command thing. But I guess that if you go to a 1VP, if you're having a problem with your manager, your supervisor, you can go to Enlon, you can go to someone else in a different department, and it'll get solved that way. And so then the communication is not like, I guess it's nice not to have a top-bottom approach, top-down. But then what do you make of, how do you know the problem is going to get solved? Yeah. Anyways, so thought that was an interesting take to communication. Job duties. Okay, your job is number one. Everyone's number one job is making this company a success. Okay. If you see opportunities to improve the way we do things, speak up, even if they're outside of the areas of your responsibility. Ooh, you have a personal stake at Tesla's success to make suggestions and share your ideas. Your good ideas mean nothing if you keep them to yourself. All right. Okay. Goals and feedback. You and your supervisor are encouraged to discuss your job performance and goals as an informal day-to-day basis. Okay. Safety. Well, at least they're covering safety. Okay. Being safe is conscious at all times, complying with safety procedures. We don't take arbitrary rules. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Never performing a job that you feel is unsafe. Okay. Communication piece, there really isn't a whole lot of guidance as far as how you need to communicate if you have an HR problem. It sounds like you can communicate with just about anybody, between the VP and what you meant thinking, the other person in the other organization, to the other person in the other organization. I mean, to the big guy. So how do problems like this get addressed, right? If there are discrimination issues, if somebody's calling you the N-word, whatever word they're calling you, and they're discriminated against you, does the VP from one area, is he expected to address the issues from the other area? That's always a huge thing. Now, I don't know. I could be wrong about this, and I'm kind of curious to know what your guys' thoughts are on this, right? But there is an environment in the car culture, right? Like people that collect cars, people that are car enthusiasts, people that like Teslas, Toyotas, Subarus, Jaguars, those are very specific type people, right? They're people that collect cars, but there's a culture in there as far as an organization goes that kind of makes it a little bit interesting in terms of like how do they address problems? Okay. Um, are you expected to kind of move on? What are you expected to do with the situation, right? So I always find that to be very interesting. I thought that this book would address that, but I guess it really doesn't. They're talking about trust and communication. You can talk to just about anybody. We went through that. Your job duties, it's number one. Feedback and goals and moving up. I guess it's out there, right? But one thing that Mr. Owens Diaz said was that people were not allowed to promote, right? Like people of color are overlooked. Okay, people that it seemed like it really is a favoritism culture that was going around in this organization. So safety and attendance, and this is the part where I was like, especially the tardiness. I haven't heard that word in a long, long time, because I think that tardiness and attendance kind of go hand in hand together. If you're late for work, you're late for work. I don't know if you call it tardiness, you just call it late, right? Tardiness is very school like, but they put a sentence in here that says, "Your tardy is something kids are told in school." So I was like, all right, well, that makes sense. This isn't school. Plan to be here on time, ready to start work when you are scheduled. Traffic accidents happen. We get that, but they don't happen every Monday during football season. That right there, I was like, oh, do you have a certain specific type of person that calls in tardy? Football season people? Car accident people? On Mondays? Is it just me? Does anybody ever notice like just the language of it? This is just very passive. Did they have somebody read this or did they just write it and then hand it out and said, "Here, this is the book, the antique book." I thought that was interesting. Sick days. If you're sick, stay home. Okay. Don't get the rest of us sick. Contact your supervisor by any means possible as soon as you can. Ideally before you're scheduled to start. Okay. You can use your PTO if you've accrued it. Yeah, the verbiage. Jane's like, is the verbiage for real in this handbook? It is very aggressive. I would have to agree with that. Okay. We need to know, we know you need time off. So schedule in advance. Get your supervisor approval, then take it. Use your PTO. That's what it's there for. Okay. Right? They can't accommodate every vacation request. No call, no show. Our assumption is that if you don't call and don't show up for work, you're a jerk. Wait. Let me read that very, very slowly. Our assumption will be that if you don't call and don't show up for work, you're a jerk. You better have a really good reason for not letting us know why you didn't come in, or you're out of here. One time is enough. Yeah. Has anybody not has anybody done that before? Like, be honest. Have you ever not called in and not showed up for work? But then they call you a jerk. What if something happened? Look, my Wi-Fi went down right now, okay? What if your phone went off? Yeah, no, it's real. It's real. Latin from Manhattan said, "This cannot be real." No, it's real. Yeah. So you're a jerk. No, so you guys look, I have a confession to make. I did do this a lot when I was a kid, but this is like when I was a teenager, right? I could care less about, that won't bite me in the ass now in my 30s, but um, you know, I think my first job was at a Dairy Queen, guys, and I hated it. So I did a no call, no show. Now back then it was like $5.25 an hour minimum wage. So there was no work aspirations for me working there. And I'm just gonna be honest. Um, yeah, I mean, maybe he's for it. And I was wondering about that. Do they talk about drug testing in this employee handbook? That was the piece that I was like, and I wonder. All right. Other outside employee, you may hold a job with another company as long as you perform your job here well and you aren't compromising anything confidential or proprietary. Now, do they make them sign any type of paperwork for that? So if I work for Tesla and then decide, okay, I'm going to work for Chrysler, I'm going to work for Subaru, or I'm going to work for some other company, would there be a conflict there? And what is confidential? See, that's the piece that I was talking about before in NDAs. You have to know kind of what are confidentiality things that we can't talk about, what can or can't be shared. We won't cut you any slack because you have another job. All right. You will be judged by the same standards as everyone else. If your job interferes with your performance, you may be asked to terminate that job if you wish to remain with Tesla. Okay. Stupid stuff. Now, this is the interesting part. I was like, all right, stupid stuff. If you do something stupid, depending on the circumstances, you may be coached and given another chance, or you may be asked to leave. We can't afford to waste our time dealing with stupid stuff when we have so many important things to get done. Okay. If you need them, here's an example of stupid things people do: stealing, okay, damaging property, disclosing confidential information. All right. Harassing or bullying others. Wait a minute. Physically hurting someone or threatening violence. All right. Illegal drugs, explosive weapons or firearms. How come there's nothing about discrimination being stupid here? There's nothing about discrimination being stupid here. Now, there is harassment or bullying. I guess that could go under that umbrella, but like, how about writing in the bathrooms? Swastikas in the bathrooms. I don't know. The list could go on and on. It says, if you think you're the kind of person who might do something that could be on the list of stupid stuff, do us a favor and leave now. Now, do you get this employee handbook before or after you're hired? Out of curiosity. It says fun. Make sure you're having fun at work. Meet new friends. Push yourself in new ways. Try new things. If you aren't having fun at some level, you'll be unhappy. We don't want that. We want you to work hard, love what you do, and have fun. Moral of the story: the theme of the above standards is simple. Just behave like the sort of person you want as your coworker. Treat everyone like you want to be treated. Tesla must be the kind of company where people look forward to coming to work in the morning. Life is too short for anything else. All right. Resolving concerns. We want to provide a positive work environment and treat people as the individuals that they are. If you have concerns, please speak freely and openly with anyone you think can help evaluate and resolve the issue. If you aren't sure who to talk to, contact Human Resources. We will always do our best to provide a healthy, fulfilling, productive, and amicable workplace. The end. Love, Tesla. Okay, so let's go back up. All right. So Mr. Owens, okay, reported the concerns. Okay, reported it to HR, reported it to all these people about the discrimination, about the language, about being called the N-word, and the feelings, and also the narrative in the bathroom. People were writing items in the bathroom, okay? The N-word, swastikas, referencing to certain discrimination type of behavior, discriminatory type of behavior, right? So why wasn't this addressed? Because at the very end, you do have a little clause resolving concerns. And it wasn't just Mr. Owens. There was like 3 other people that were reporting ongoing things. You see, they went to the California Civil Rights attorney's office to bring up these concerns as well. So it was a lot of stuff that was going on. Hawks Baby Girl says they can't formulate a sentence that doesn't sound elementary. Why would come to them to understand racial discrimination properly? Why would they come? Yeah, right. I wouldn't. I wouldn't, because then you have this narrative about stupid stuff. How do I not know? I mean, that's opinion. How do I not know that they don't feel like that's stupid? Right? Outside employment. You're a jerk if you don't call, what is it? No call, no show? I don't know. It is very elementary. And I think that if you're going to hold up a company like Tesla, your cars and all that other stuff, this is probably not the place to do that. If anybody's going to take Tesla serious, you probably want to have this reviewed by someone else. You could still make it a fun employee handbook. It's just, I guess it just depends how it lands, and how people deal with this. For me, I wouldn't want to work here. Not because of what I know now, but just doesn't seem like they handle communication very well, even though they have a really good paragraph here. There is no like real way in or sense of knowing how you're going to put things up there. Um, what if you have problems with your own supervisor or all the VPs? What if you have problems with all the VPs? Then where do you go? I don't know. Valerie said you would think they could afford to have an attorney look over that. I just think that they think that, well, yeah, maybe they just feel like they're not doing anything wrong by being so forward in their book. Um, it's a little concerning. Now, I just wonder if they've revamped it, because here, discrimination is not allowed would be a really good narrative to have, right? Um, you should probably have that in your employee handbook or somewhere in your building, okay? The harassment and bullying others. What about the narratives in the bathrooms, that the swastika and the N-word? I don't know. I don't know. It's a very interesting company. And if it keeps going this way, who knows if it's going to keep standing. Now, who drives a Tesla? This is what I want to know. Did anybody really admit to driving a Tesla? Because I don't drive a Tesla. I'm scared to touch that car. I'm gonna be honest with you. It just looks very expensive. That's all, and I can't afford it. You know. And I heard it was very expensive to keep up with it. Just saying. Let me look at your guys' comments. Yeah, the guidelines are very elementary, very much so. I really hope that from this discrimination suit that they're able to really figure something out, that the money does go to wherever Mr. Owen said he was going to take it to. I that just kind of made me feel really good just reading that narrative about what he plans to do with this money. I really hope that he does plan to help people that are leaving incarceration. It would be a good way to do it. Cancel the handbook. Fun to People on says we need to cancel the handbook. Yeah, you got to cancel this handbook because it doesn't look good, Tesla. Um, it's the anti handbook. And if you're looking, what does it say right there? We're different and we like to keep it that way. Okay. You said I have a very pro-black friend that drives a Tesla. Oh, you better tell him. Tell him about that Tesla. I love my Ford. Do you? That's awesome. I have a Subaru. That's what I'll say about my car. Discrimination, bullying, abusive is that handbook. Yeah, because it doesn't differentiate. It's a little bit like, I wonder if they had an attorney read it. I don't know. Just wondering. Let's see. Please subscribe. Yes, please subscribe. Hit that like button. I'll make sure I go back and do some editing on this video because clearly we went off the wall. You know, we are down the rabbit hole. We do have internet issues at times. He was enduring legit verbal abuse and discrimination at work. From I hope he rots. Yeah. So Mr. Owens was really going through it. I mean, he described Tesla as being the dream job. Okay. A lot of people did because they were going to make money. Luckily, he didn't sign the arbitration form. So the arbitration form would keep them from suing Tesla, okay, in a public forum, right? He didn't sign it. So he sued. And it sounded like this was affecting this man periodically every day. He's having to come to work and he's dreading it. And so then finally he leaves, right? And then reports all this. Whatever it was that he had, I mean, this is a huge lawsuit. I think I had heard I can't remember what school it was. It was a law school professor that said something to the effect of this is the huge payout on a discrimination lawsuit. So this is a pretty big deal, right? You don't really hear about people getting paid out this amount. So shout out to him. I think he deserves his win, and whoever else goes up against Tesla. And you know what? It's setting the standards of we're not going to allow this bullshit. I work here. Fix your handbook. Let it be a little bit more professional. There might be a culture in the car industry, but guess what? We can't allow you to discriminate against us. We can't allow you to use the N-word, and we're not going to allow you to run people off of a work organization, right? And then we don't even know who do we communicate with. I don't know. They don't want me auditing. That's all I got to say. If I had to audit this company, it'd probably be not a good one. That's all. I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna look at your guys' comments. What do you guys think so far about the situation? I'm just this is like the feel good news for me. I love it when somebody goes up against somebody and actually wins. I'm just gonna tell you guys, this makes me feel really, really, really good. Tesla pays, I work in civil litigation. Yeah, they will pay you in the hopes it keeps you quiet with the confidentiality agreement. Thank you. It's Hawks, baby girl. I can always count on you to bring the real objective stuff. So thank you so much. And they pay well. Yeah, I heard that they pay very well. I don't know about this handbook, guys, though. I don't know about this handbook. It's just different. And it's funny because even in here, on the standards, if you're reading this, you're probably new to Tesla and have questions about how some basic things play out here. Here's what we think you need to get started with. You need to know to get started with. As for everything else, such as information about pay policies, meals, rest, breakfast time off, and leave policies, check the internal website. Okay. Now, they meaning Tesla, there was an email. Okay. There was an email where they're downplaying the N word, where they're saying, well, it was between blacks that were saying the N word, and they were downplaying kind of the meaning of it, and it was in a playful manner. I don't know. So that was kind of like they're trying to defend their reputation, and they were saying, well, it was in a playful manner, and it was between black people that were saying the N word, not any other race. They released this email after they found out that they lost. PR stunt, I think. I don't really know. But I find that to be interesting. Yeah, I know, right? You guys are, I'm looking at the chat. You guys are saying different things. What do you guys think so far? I don't know. I mean, shout out to Mr. Owen Diaz, okay? And hopefully he does right by the money. Deserves it. I don't know. There you go. Just because we say it does not give you the right. Thank you. And that's absolutely correct. And it's not because I think that people tend to, I think they're trying to save face. This is a PR situation for them. I don't know. Barbie says, I was employed by a very, very large corporation. I did everything right up the chain of command, etc. Took a human rights complaint to get action. All the upper managements were the good old boys and try to play it down. They always try to play it down, guys. It's that good old boy mentality. And unfortunately, we're going to see this everywhere. You see it in government, you see it in bigger corporations. The good old boy mentality never goes away. It's there to downplay the situation. And the thing is sometimes it's not even so much about hard work, it's who you know. Unfortunately, that's what I've learned. That's how things work out here. It's who you know. And so that's why we should all just become business owners, entrepreneurs, open your own companies, open your own thing, be your own boss, write better handbooks than this shit right here. Don't write that handbook. That's just my thought. Anyways. So shout out to everyone in the chat. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it, Aisha. Thank you. Tonight, we're going to look at the whole Kellogg situation. I've been looking at notes and stuff like that, but wanted to bring some real social issues that we have going around. I really want to take a deep dive into that kind of commentary, first of all, because I think it needs to be brought up. We need more channels that talk a little bit about that. I love the channels that do. Those are the ones that really attract me. And I aspire and look up to being that kind of content creator. So I'm going to look into that a little bit more. I will definitely bring up that Kellogg situation. We have some other stuff that we're working on. So that's going to be tonight. I'm reading more into it, getting some more information, see what we can or can't find out on that whole Kellogg thing. Oh, you have a class tonight. It's all good. It's Hawks, baby girl. Just saying, I will never go bass fishing again. Oh yeah, yeah. It comes down to who you know sometimes, and not the work that you do. You know what? And that's so true. You can go to school, you can work your ass off for a company, and then get pennies as a promotion. And I think a lot of us have gone through that. But it does kind of ignite, at least for me, that got to work on yourself, got to work on your craft to build up to where you want to go, right? And be independent. Who knows? Maybe you guys can build another company. You just never know. If you work on your craft, it's important too, right? At least that's what I believe. I'm gonna do some editing on this video because clearly we had a huge little Wi-Fi situation. We dropped some folks and people, so we'll be fixing up for those that are watching the replay. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Shout out to everyone. We wanted to bring you some information on how this company runs. If you work for Tesla, if you have a Tesla, no judgment. Just know what you own, what you're owning. We're going to look at Kellogg. That situation is going to be a little interesting as well. Shout out to everyone in the chat, those that were patient with us, our members, our new subscribers, and of course, our Bush watchers. Can't forget them. At the end of the day, they do give us a view, one or two, and a thumbs down and thumbs up. Love them. We got to love them. We still got to love you guys regardless. All right. Why don't we do a little something just to shout out our members? Let's do a little what we like to do here, which is our little rabbit twerk. All right, guys. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you tonight. And as we like to say in this chat, we are out. Rabbits are out.